Hi, my name is Chad Carnahan. We're here again at Bell Arbor looking at the bees. So 2 weeks ago we came in, took the old hive and cleaned out all of the dead bees that were on the bottom board and sort of got it ready for the new package installation. We opened up the hive and discovered that all the bees inside had died. They had plenty of honey where they could have moved up. It's almost like a stampede where it looked like the bees were being pushed against the side of the hive by the back side of the cluster, and the cluster just wasn't able to make the turn to go up into the honey, and they all sort of froze. And I believe that's what their ultimate demise was. So this is the package that the bees come in. There's in the middle of it, there's a can of sugar water, and then strapped next to it is a cage that holds the queen in it. And then there's, in this case, 3 pounds of bees. There's a metal can inside that has sugar water, and there's a strap next to it that I have to pry loose to let the queen out. In 3 to 5 days, the bees will eat through this candy core to release the queen, and they will have accepted her as their own. And then this is my little invention here, which is a rubber band that the queen will go in the middle of. When you first get them, they're coming from different hives, and the queen that they put into the box with them is not their queen, so they haven't accepted her. And if you release the queen just into the midst of the bees, they would likely kill her. Three days later, I actually came in and just checked on it real quick and made sure that the bees had released the queen, which they had done. And so at that time, I pulled out the queen cage, closed them back up, and now we're here a week later to check on the queen and make sure that she's laying eggs and that everything's good. And we'll check also and see how much wax they've built, and if it's time to think about adding another hive body really on top of the hive. If they don't have enough space and they start to fill up, they'll start to swarm. And once they start creating new queens to do that, you kind of can't stop that. So the first thing we're going to do, this top box has a feeder in it, which is empty. I haven't done it in a couple of days. So I'm going to open it up, take that off, then open the inner cover, and then start to pull out the frames. And like I said, check and see if we can find eggs. And there should maybe be larvae at this point, but and probably not yet capped cells, but we should be able to see that. So here we go. Look at that, capped brood. You can actually see larvae like next to this brood on this side. Yeah, see the little white, they look like maggots, which I hate to say because maggots are disgusting, but see all around that capped area, there's brood everywhere. That is wonderful. So the capped brood's about at least 10 days old, and then the larvae are less than 10. You can see the pollen baskets are full. There's bright orange pollen. What we're going to check now is just sort of space. Like, how are they doing? So they're starting to put nectar in here, but not a lot. They don't like these outside frames anyways. They still have a little bit of space. They have to finish building that wax, so there's room for the bees that want to build wax. So it looks like everything is good inside. We have a queen that's laying eggs nicely. The bees, I knew before I opened it up that she was fine actually. You can just tell by how much pollen's coming in. The pollen is the protein source for the young, so if they're not raising brood, they tend to not bring in that much pollen. The fact that I've seen tons of pollen coming in pretty much can tell you from the outside that they're raising brood. Come back in a week, check and see where they are, and then add another super on top. And then at that time, I typically do something that's called pyramiding, where I'll take some of the frames from the bottom and I'll move them up, and then put empties back down there. And it just sort of forces the bees to go up into the new box, because sometimes they don't like to make that jump between boxes. But if you bring them up and there's young up in there, they have to come up and cover it. It forces them to. So that's it.